Hello, this is Luke from Cold War Collectors, and I'm gonna do a video on my East German NVA toiletry and personal items kit, or set, I guess. On my main channel, Soviet Victory 1989, I did a video of my entire collection of East German personal items, and since then I've packed all of it up neatly into this drawer. But I did feel that I mean, it was pretty obvious, and I think I mentioned it in the video, but I figured I'd do this video more so just because, but more so what a soldier would have. Because, a soldier, wouldn't be running around with all this stuff, well, actually, most of it's packed into those boxes. That's what it came in from the eBay auction. But, all the face cream and skin cream and the stuff for your hair and so many different tooth brushes and yada, yada, yada. I mean, obviously, you knew that they wouldn't have that many duplicates. But I figured I'd do a specific video on it. So, we'll cover the toiletry items last. And we'll start with the more so care, or, well, these items would be for the equipment. This is personal, and this is also not so much personal, but not toiletry, part of your washing or shaving kit. First of all, I will do a full video on the packing. Actually, let me grab something real quick. This right here is the Sturmpack, and mine is very, well, not really that bad, but I've got the name tag that I set up. And for the unit, I just copied one from a tag I've seen before for the number, and then for the name, I used the one that's in my ID booklet, my East German one. So that's the guy in my ID booklet. That's the one I chose to use. But anyways, I have the Zeltbahn rolled up on it, and it looks a lot better when it's actually closed. I had it open, and actually I have it stuffed with, I think, BDUs. Yeah, because I was just trying to fill it up when I was putting the Zeltbahn on, but I haven't, and then I had to open it up and do stuff. But anyways, then there's also the poles and pegs, but I'll do a full video on contents for the Sturmpack. I have most of the contents, but there are a few key items I need to get. They're easy to get, I just haven't gotten them. One of those really, really common items that I should have, and it's bad that I don't, is a mess kit. East German mess kits, you can get them very easily. They're cheap-ish. They're mostly cheap. And, there's no reason why I shouldn't have it. The handkerchiefs, the spare collar liners, the foot wraps or socks, all of those, I can get duplicates. I do have one set of foot wraps, but now here's the thing, and actually I got those way back when I was still interested in World War II German, which I still have an interest in it, but it's just too much to collect right now, and I do primarily collect Cold War. That's my main interest. But I would like to get into collecting World War II German again in the future, but besides the point for a different video. On the let's see, where was I? The sewing kit. Well, I'm just gonna move on. I have no idea where I am, and I'm not gonna stop and. So, mess kit. Oh, I remember. Okay, so I have one of those sealed personal. I'm sorry about this, by the way, guys. I'm sorry that I got messed up. But on the personal care kits that come in a sealed plastic bag, and they'll have a set of underwear and handkerchiefs and collar liners and socks. They'll have all that stuff, and they're like they're like kits, and you carry them in your second pack. Well, I have one of those, and it's sealed, and I'm not going to open it, obviously. But it's actually a really early one. It's from the 60s. Very early 60s. I think it's 63, if I remember. It's in the other room, so I can't show you right now, but I'll probably do a video on it later. But I need to get one from the 80s, and then I need to buy all those contents individually as well to fill the pack. But, I can't I can't just put the whole thing in there because it wouldn't fit, and also they wouldn't carry all of that stuff. Well, they would, but you can fold it down smaller. and pack it different ways, and I can't just shove it in there because it'll actually take up the full pack space if I just put it in there already packed up in the bag, which is a big square basically. So I'll need to get all the contents individually, and you can get them on eBay. You can get the little individual parts, so I need to do that. And then ration components. I actually have someone who I'm going to possibly be buying some ration components from. I have no idea what they are. He just said he had some ration components, or he might. So maybe I won't. Who knows? But either way, on German eBay, they pop up every now and then, but they're really expensive. But the mess kit's the main thing, and then the clothing items, and I can get those easily. I just don't. But once I get those, I will. But you know, I went way off track. Back to this. The mess kit, and then this is the utensil kit. Now, I will probably get a different utensil kit. One of the more common ones, which is like, it's got like a bottle opener, and then it's got the knife, fork, and spoon, and then it's like all attached. It's like it all clips together. I don't know how to explain it. Well, I don't know. Yeah, kind of like that, basically, what I just said. And I'm sure you've probably seen them. But this is what I have for now. And it's just got a knife and fork. And I mentioned this in the other one, but it's kind of strange how it doesn't have a spoon. Which is why I'll probably get the other type of kit. But here's where you've got your DDR. So, I don't think there's anything marked on the knife. No, actually, these are kind of dirty. Huh. Not like I'm going to eat with them anyways, so. There's actually something on the buttons, too. I think it says Dresden, I'm not sure. No, it doesn't say Dresden. I don't know why I thought it said Dresden. But either way, you have that, then you'd have your mess kit for eating items, and then ration components for eating items. But then next you'll have your boot care kit, your sewing kit, and boot polish. I'm not going to open the kits because the boot, I did them in my other video on my main channel. But the sewing kit's actually hard to get all the stuff packed back into it without it looking bad, like it'll bulge. And it didn't look like this before. I don't know what I did. But either way, it doesn't matter. But basically, it's just got thread, safety pins, needles, and buttons. That's it. And then in the boot polish kit, it should have 3 brushes. Mine only has 2. It's missing one, but I'm just glad to have one at all because they're pretty hard to get, apparently. Well, not apparently. They are hard to get. I lucked out. Actually, I got it from Dominic, so that was really cool. He got really lucky, too. He found it in a surplus store. And I got it off of him, so that was awesome. And then here's your boot polish. East German manufactured. Now moving on, let's go to this. What I need to get matches or a lighter. Probably matches. Matches were more popular, or not popular, but more common. I can't find any East German lighters, anyways. And actually the matches, I couldn't find any matches except for on German eBay. But the shipping isn't that bad, actually. I was thinking of something else. Yeah, they're just matches. They're pretty small, so I can get those. I just need to. I actually plan on doing a pretty large, well, not large, but an order to get all the little smaller items I still need to get. But as these are, just your normal cigarettes, they are filtered. It says it somewhere on here, does it? No, it doesn't. Oh, yeah, it does right there. Duh. But there's 20 in here, obviously. And then these are, like I said, East German. They've got the VEB, made in Dresden. Now, I think that means they're 1983. No, maybe not. Or are they... Let's see, what was the other... I don't know. But then on the top, this, it's ripped open. It must have ripped in shipping. Either that or this one was the one that was ripped. But one of them was supposedly fully sealed, and on the picture it was. But it must have ripped open in the auction. Or, I mean, in shipping. But you can actually see they're still in there. So they are in there. Yeah, a lot of people, smoked in the East German army. Obviously, a lot of people smoke everywhere. I don't know if it was majority or less than majority or the minority, whatever. I'm not sure. It does. I mean, obviously, you know, some people smoked, some people didn't. So it's not like a required thing. I just more so, since I have them, you know, collectible as well, I might as well use them in my impression. But where they'd carry them most commonly, from what I gather, well, I mean, they carried them pretty much anywhere. It's up to you. But it seems like a pretty common place was the right breast pocket, and then also I heard that some guys kept spare packs in their main pack. Now I saved the toiletry kit for last, and this is your toiletry kit. This is not like, you know, what everyone would have. I mean, it really varies, and a lot of guys would carry this in like a bag, like a cloth bag to keep it all organized, which is probably a good idea. I'll probably track down an East German bag or some sort to store it in. But and then also the toilet paper. Not everyone would have this, but you know, some would, because you know, you were like issued toilet paper, but only a certain amount. But apparently, quite a few guys would buy an extra roll to have. So yeah, toilet paper. You've got your soap dish and your soap. Knock that out. Let's see there. Where's that? That. And then on the soap, yep. So soap, you know, self-explanatory. It's soap. Moving onward, deodorant. And I'm not sure if that's 83 or 73 dated. I'd say 83, but because I don't know. And then you've got your VEV Berlin. Oh, or is that the date? Oh, it could be 1990. I've not noticed that before. Well, interesting. Moving on. Comb. Maybe even not. You would maybe not even need that for the field. But you know, it's light. It weighs very little. Well, pretty much nothing, and it takes up very little space. So why not? Toothbrush. And there you've got your info. Nope. Yeah, just your standard toothbrush. Toothpaste. Now this is a 68 dated, 1968. So obviously I'll need to track down some actual 80s ones to match all these components. But it's the only toothpaste I have that's East German. But I do have U.S. toothpaste from the 80s for my 80s impression. I need to do an update on that. I've actually acquired quite a lot since my older videos. But anyways, on the East German toothpaste, VEB, Dresden. So, you know, toothpaste with the toothbrush. Okay, and then with the, I've got shaving cream as well. You know, it's just shaving cream. Also, another thing I need is I need a shaving brush. I don't know if that's necessary, but it definitely would be something I should get. Oh, and I also need razor blades. I forget these don't have blades. But here's your razor. Very standard. Now, I took the shaving cream and the razor out of the box because you wouldn't, you know, you wouldn't carry them in the box. It just takes up space that you don't, that, you know, there's no need. But those are those. And then here's your mug, your coffee cup, your little... Yep. Now, all of these items were purchased by yourself when going into the military. None of this was issued. But when you look at a lot of the, this mostly relates to the sewing kit and boot care kit. When you see those, they're pretty much the same for every soldier. Like, the only difference is color variants, because I've seen both of them come in various colors. I've also seen this kit, I've actually only ever seen it that exact style, which is like, I don't know how to describe this, but it's the other material's just like that. It's the other types are like plasticky, but this is like, I don't know what you'd call this. I'm sorry. But I've only ever seen this type in the blue, which is like mine, and then black. And then the rest of the type I've seen red, blue, and I think yellow. And they're in this like plasticky thing, and they look different. But besides that, I mean, you know, the main reason everyone would have basically the same on those is because, you know, there was pretty much they were the only maker, I think. I mean, I've never seen another type of sewing kit, and like I said, besides the cases, I've never seen another type of boot polish kit, because they always had the same contents. So I think that's just an era thing. I think the plasticky type came in the later stages of the 80s. But they weren't Army issued. Like I said, none of this was. You were given a list of what to bring when you went into the military. They sent you a list, and actually, coincidentally, I found that list today. I'd actually always wanted to find it, and I'd never found it. But I'm reading it. I'm reading the list now. It's actually really short. I've already read it, but I'm reading a thread about it on Wehrmacht Awards. But it was a list talking about what to bring, and it said, you know, washing kit, shaving kit. What's some other items it said? I can't even remember. Those are the only items I can think of, but it had a few other items. Sleep shirt, house shoes. Let's see, what else did it say? It doesn't matter. That's not really the purpose of the video anyways. But I don't know. Figured I'd do this video. And, like I said, once I get the rest of the contents, I will do a video on how to pack the, Sturm pack. And I mean, it's really self-explanatory, but actually, there is a really specific way of how to do it. I just don't know how it would have, if they would have really followed it. But like, there's actually a specific place where each item goes. Like, you know, you tuck the mess kit into the bottom. I mean, obviously it goes on the bottom, but you like press it against the left side. And I mean, like, I think you would probably just put your contents in there, and as long as it fit and it didn't like make the pack bulge in any, like, you know, really odd fashion, I think it would be fine. But maybe they were really strict about that. I'm not sure. But I do have the regulations for it. I have a full list of what goes in it, and that's not a hard thing to find. Anyone can find that because it's pretty well known if you do some searching. But by the way, if you're looking for information on East German, I recommend Wehrmacht Awards, Red Alliance, and if you know German, you know, tons of German sites have good information, obviously. But East German, you know, since it was so common, it's actually starting to become less. Certain items are starting to become harder to get. It isn't as common as it was a few years back, but it's still fairly common. But, you know, it was so popular, and because it was so common, everyone had it. There's a pretty large amount of knowledge. Actually, I also have a copy of the handbook on my computer. You can find the handbooks, like PDF files of the handbook, on the computer as well, and that has tons of information. So, also, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments, and I can direct you to, if I can help you, or I can direct you to a link or anything of that nature. I also plan to do a video on how to roll the Zeltbahn, because, you know, following regulations, and I know it looks pretty bad now, but I had it looked really nice. I had it like set up almost perfectly, or as perfect as it can be, but like I said, I've left the pack sit out, and it's open, and it doesn't look good now. But if you follow it to the regulations, it will be too long, I've noticed. So I actually, and maybe the regulations say something else, but following the picture, where you fold it, well, I can't describe it, but you fold the two corners over, and then you roll it basically with the buttons facing inward. But the ends stick way further out. They're not supposed to pass the bottom of the pack. So I messed around with it, and I kept the regulations, but I folded in again, and then it actually works out perfectly. So maybe that is how it is, but like I said, I've translated. It's very brief on what it says. I'm pretty sure, they just expected soldiers to figure it out, and, I was able to figure that out, so I'm sure soldiers could too. And also, I'm sure, when they were packing it, they were just shown, you know, but either way, I'll still do a video on that just because some people want to know how to do everything like 100% by the book, which is similar to how I like to do it. I like to try to do everything by the book. But anyways, I made this video a lot longer than it needed to be, but hopefully you learned something, or at least I tried to make it as detailed as possible so you can learn all the little details, because those are my favorites, all the little details. Anyone can buy the uniform and the field gear, but this is the stuff that makes it, truly special, to make it a true impression, But anyways, I'll bring a few more videos about East German soon, because that's what I've been working on lately. And I'm going to be getting some Canadian stuff very soon, and I'll do some videos on that. But remember to subscribe and comment. See you later.